could have been implanted by more than one family event. And this one we know has been implanted by two, but we can't see that any of them actually hit the body. So hopefully there will be other questions, but at this stage it's a problem. Dr. Andrew Tecsun of the Australian National University, trying to date that immense rock, or two rocks.
Good morning. This is Tom Stiles, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And I'm in my workshop, which is typically not too bad of an RF noise environment. The RF noise, as long as I keep the computer off, it's not too bad in here, so I can listen to shortwave and use built-in telescopic antennas. And what I'm going to show you this morning is a little comparison, and it's kind of an apples and oranges comparison because of the price differences. And so it's one of those deals where, is it worth paying extra money to get better reception and or features? So we're going to look at the Tecsun PL 660, which you can get for about $40, versus the Tecsun PL 380, which is about $55, versus the Tecsun PL 660, which is about $125 right now. So we're just going to take a look at this, and I better start over. No, I'm not going to start over. I was thinking that I could turn on the computer and verify the present cost of the 660, but I can do that after the fact and just put a caption note of what I found that the present price of the PL 660. I can see, I think it's around $125. One thing nice about the PL 660 and other radios on Amazon, they go on sale quite often, and you can grab some real deals. I got a real deal on all of these radios. Actually, the PL 380 I got off of eBay and got a real deal. But you just keep going back and looking, because usually those deals don't last very long. So anyway, so we're tuned in to Radio Australia, and it's 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Thursday. To be more precise, May 28th. So here we go, and we're all radios are using their built-in antennas. So I'm going to try the PL 606 first. Turn it on.
Ahead of a vote tomorrow to elect the next FIFA president.
Coming in pretty good.
David Cameron has backed calls for him to resign, and US authorities are warning they'll expand their investigation into alleged corruption. Some of the charges relate to bribery in the bidding process to host the World Cup, including the 2020
Don't fight, guys, don't fight.
Australia lost in
Okay, I'm going to change the
circumstances. From Washington, Ben Knight reports.
Turn the volume down first. I'm going to change the bandwidth. This radio has a number of bandwidths, so I'm going to change it. I think that's a maximum bandwidth. Nope, I'm at 3 kilohertz. It's kind of middle. 2. 1 kilohertz bandwidth. Maximum 6 kilohertz. Back to 3, 2, 1.
In fact, some of the evidence they'll be relying on comes from other officials who've already secretly pled guilty here in the US.
It's doing a great job, and I can say that is Radio Australia. And I don't know if I'm 100% correct here, but I think that's coming from Australia. So it's booming in this morning. You never know, because they have, like China Radio has transmitters throughout the world, so you never know where the signal you're receiving is coming from exactly at that time. So let's go to, so this is a $35 to $40 radio. The next one up is the PL 380. It's $55 thereabouts, and I'll turn it on. Same station.
Independent process of reform led by an external body to put FIFA right and then set the process.
About the same, maybe a little clearer. Change the bandwidth. Was at 2 kilohertz. 1 kilohertz. 6.
14 people who've been indicted. A total as much as $150 million. Sepp Blatter has pulled out of today's FIFA medical conference in Zurich to concentrate on the scandal.
Not too much difference.
Jack Warner spent last night in jail after handing
Very strong signal, of course. We'll turn that one off. And you notice both of these radios, since they're very small, have a very small speaker. The audio is a little tinny. And if you change the bandwidth way down to 1 kilohertz, the tinniness goes away, but of course you lose some of the fidelity. And I don't listen to music on shortwave, so to me, having the narrow bandwidth, that's fine. Okay, that's those two. Now we go, come up here to Big Bertha here, and we turn her on. This is the 660.
I was surprised by the timing of it, just a couple of days before the election.
A little bassy.
Perhaps, the election.
We'll change the bandwidth.
And that it happened at that moment in time, but I think that was probably the best moment for it to happen.
This only has 2 settings of bandwidth. There's the wide.
We will no longer be happy with how things have been going with FIFA over the past 20,
Narrow.
30, or maybe even 40 years. I think was predictable that
it does have a volume control someplace. Okay, it does have a tone, treble, and bass setting.
In your extensive
Bass,
research of the FIFA World Cup over a decade,
treble,
how far do you think the
no change.
corrupt charges have been
But as you can see this morning, Radio Australia, if that's what I'm receiving, and when I was listening a few minutes ago, they were talking about things that sounds like it's coming from Radio Australia, so I think that's what it is. It could be Channel Radio, because they also broadcast on 9580 sometimes, and they also have a transmitter close to me in Cuba, I think, or somewhere down there. So I don't think that's Channel Radio this morning, right now.
Changing what was an international sports organization into a business empire. And I think the sort of rules with which FIFA approaches were never adapted to this model.
I could be wrong. That could be Channel Radio. That would kind of make sense, since, like I say, China Radio has a transmitter just south of Florida someplace, so they could be booming in. Talking a lot about soccer, so I think it's on Radio Australia. So anyway, now let's, and I gotta watch the time. I don't use up all my memory on my webcam. Let's try WWV on all 3 radios at 10 megahertz. So we'll punch in. Oops, we got to do this in a little different. Gotta get out of this mode. There we go. Okay. A little weak. Again, I'm using the built-in telescopic antennas. The S meter scale, which is 1 to 5, is varying all over the place. Let's try that on the other radios. 10 megahertz again. I can actually see it here. I actually heard WWVH from Hawaii, typically what will happen is she'll say something, it's a female voice, she'll say something just prior to the male voice coming from Colorado announcing the minute time. So there's a little kind of a silent spot there, and if she's coming in, you can hear her. So let's try the 380 on WWV. The 380
Well, I think it very much depends on what happens to...
has the advantage of the keypad. So I can type in 10 megahertz. And I'm hearing 6. Okay. Coming in pretty clear. Now, what you give up, one of the things you give up on the 606 is you have no numeric keypad for direct entry. So I've got to turn it on. Since I'm close by, I'll tune up to it. Oops, it's in memory mode. I can't tune when I'm in memory mode. Oh, shoot, and I lost. Let me go back up. I lost. I was pretty close there, and when I changed modes. Okay. There we go. Okay, 9.7. You're getting there. 10 megahertz. A little weak. Yeah, a little weak. I do a quick go back to this guy and see if conditions have changed. Turn him off. Yeah, conditions have changed. It's weak on that one now too. And then if I go back to Big Bertha here, yeah. So conditions changed on me. So they're very, as far as reception, they're very close. It could be that the basic electronics in all these radios are the same. Could be, or, similar. So reception-wise, not much difference. Again, Again, of course, Big Bertha at $125 or whatever it's selling for now, she's still better, and she has a lot of functions. So $35, or is it 35? Oh, $40, excuse me, $40, 55, I think 125. Just basic shortwave radio, but the reception is pretty good compared to the other two. Give up a lot of functions. Biggest function you give up, as far as I'm concerned, is a numeric keypad direct entry of frequencies. That's a biggie. Of course, you can go back and look at my review of the Tecsun PL 660, and you'll see that it has a lot of functions. But it has the PL 606 has functions similar to the 660. It's just not as many. Like, it has some of those basic functions like the ETM function for scanning the bands and storing it in temporary memory. It has the ATS functions for scanning the bands and storing it in a different section of memory that won't normally be overwritten unless you overwrite it. When you go up to the 380, you pick up the keypad. When you go up to the 660, you got the keypad. You got all the functions of the previous radios. You got a sync detect circuit. And I just watched a video by Spencer, and where he now, since he's over in China and he lives right next to China Radio International broadcast site, he gets a lot of interference. So he did a video showing how you can use the 660 and the sync detector circuit to help in those conditions. And I think I'm going to do a similar video myself where I went to the park with the 606, and that park is located very close to an AM station transmitting tower. It's like less than 2 miles away. And it was just wiping out everything on shortwave on this radio. I'm going to try taking the 660 and see if it suffers from the same problem. I'll take the 606 also to verify at that time when I'm recording that the problem is there, and then see if A, the problem is not there with this radio in normal operation, and B, if it is there, can I improve conditions by using the sync detect circuit like Spencer did. So that's the show. If you enjoyed this show, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't done it, share the video. Hey, I am really thankful for people who share my videos on Google Plus, on Twitter, and then I get more exposure and we get more people watching, and therefore we get more inputs, because I don't know it all. Well, yeah, I don't hardly know anything. As I always say, I'm no expert, but you guys out there are the experts. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. I hope I had this in record all this time.